Hey YouTube, this is Ben Gessel. How's it going? Just going for a walk here in the morning. Planning on doing a lot of this stuff this month. At least that's the goal. This month and September, October, November. Try to get out and do this stuff more in the morning. So I think that's the goal. So look forward to seeing a lot of these videos here. At least that's the goal. Yeah, I'm changing a little bit for the better, I think. But it's impossible to say it all right now. It's just these kinds of things you can't fully explain. Well, yeah. What can I say? I mean, our entire nation and so much of the world, the developed world especially, is completely immersed in like a sugar culture. Well, it's many other things, but from the time I was a wee little tyke, certainly today, I've seen advertisement after advertisement, food temptation after food temptation. It's all about sugary, sweet foods. And if it was maybe not as directly sugary or sweet, it was definitely greasy and yeah, the number two thing. But that greasy stuff is still kind of second place, more or less, to the sugary stuff. And we all have been. I mean, all those of us that are basically more in the West or the developed world have been in that position. And those of us outside of the developed world have to deal with other issues. So we're trying to get slimmer and healthier, some of us in the developed world. Meanwhile, people in the developing world are trying to eat stuff. So they're trying to get bigger. It's like, seriously, like many of us want to just give our extra food to you guys, but the only thing about that is, well, a lot of what's still produced in the developed world is junk food. And junk food is junk. So I don't honestly feel bad. I'd feel bad about giving some people potato chips, unless they were basically potatoes. If you give someone a potato, like a real potato, that's great, that's fine. And if you gave someone Tim's Cascade or something like that, or something, I don't know, higher quality, then yeah, okay. You gave someone Doritos, yeah, you know. And when you're young, this is stuff that you hear and you're just like, yeah. You shrug it off. We all did, at some level. Maybe not the super skinny, really petite women that were like eating their salads every day, and they're still maintaining their girlish figure. Maybe not those folks, but most everyone else, yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna check something real quick here, folks. Sorry, it's really hard for me to see what's happening. Oh yeah, I'm sure I'm fine. The nice thing about going for a walk right now is nobody's out and about. I just don't like filming other people without their permission, so I try to avoid doing that. Out of respect for them. And this is why it's nice to live in a place where there's not a lot of people. Then the flip side of that is, of course, those guys out in the boonies can get a little bit lonely if they don't have a certain kind of personality, I guess. Anyway, I really have nothing in particular in my mind. Maybe just a few things. Hopefully get some blackberries in here. By the way, oh, there's those apple trees? I wonder who owns this stuff. Apple trees. I guess. Crabapple or something. And here we have the blackberries, actually. Wild blackberries. Should you try one? It's still kind of early August, so they're probably a little tart. Blackberry. Not bad. Definitely should leave some for everybody else. This one's probably a little tartar, more tart. I imagine those red ones are a little more iffy to try. These ones look good. So, here in Washington, more blackberries. Maybe just one more. Here in Washington, blackberries grow wild. Himalayan blackberries. They're good. Oh, yeah. Of course, there's a berry that's even tastier than that. Grows over in one of these trails in Bothell. The thimbleberry. It's like a raspberry, but just different. It is still different, but it's quite good. But yeah, these Himalayan blackberries just grow everywhere, and they're invasive. But I'm like, hey, it tastes good, so bring it on. But these are things that you don't appreciate as much if you're just surrounded by them. If you're from a place where you don't have blackberries that grow wild, then you come to appreciate a lot more. I mean, there was a lady I taught her kids piano lessons a while back, Makoto, who just absolutely loved the fact that we have all these wild blackberries everywhere. So she's always out picking. She left some for neighbors, I think. That's what you want to do. But yeah, I mean, she wasn't taking it for granted. She was like, yeah, this is awesome. And I think this family was from North Carolina before they moved to Washington. So you guys tell me, for North Carolina folks, what your blackberry situation. I don't think blackberries grow wild so much over there. I think it's in that border arena between the temperate and subtropical regions. Sorry, it's a bus. Very loud behind me. Yeah, I think North Carolina is right in the border there between temperate and subtropical. Technically speaking, it's still temperate, but it's definitely warmer temperate. Like, I know, tobacco and peaches, nectarines, whatever, down in Georgia. Probably some kind of citrus fruit, maybe like lemons or grapefruit or something that's a bit more hardy. Not quite oranges, but oranges are Florida, But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what grows down there. But I know it's probably a little bit more warm weather stuff. And blackberries are definitely temperate. Anyway. Yeah, we just take this stuff for granted because it's, every late summer, early fall, we have a whole bunch of that stuff. There's some more blackberries. A little higher up. And they just, you know, even in Washington, this is just, it's like rain. Some people would say, oh my gosh, free food. So this is one of the, this is a little bit prickly. That's one of the drawbacks of blackberries. How prickly they can be. Try another one here. And those few of you, or those of you who haven't had blackberries before so much, they taste like a little bit. Oh, there's just so many of them out here. Look at all this stuff, and this is just—they're just everywhere. It tastes like a less tart, a little bit richer version of a raspberry. They're in the same family, rubus. I think they're a little bit more mellower tasting than a raspberry. I imagine most of you guys have had them, but again, there's always some people I don't know about that have never had them before from different areas of the world. It tastes good. I've never met somebody that hates blackberries. It's pretty universally liked. Now, of course, you have things like marionberries and loganberries and boysenberries and I don't know, tayberries and many other types that are kind of like a various hybrids between different kinds of raspberries and blackberries. So you have a lot of different subtypes, of course. Marionberries being one of the tastiest of the bunch. Now, of course, huckleberries are very different. That's a completely different beast altogether. Eastern Washington, northern Idaho, Montana, is one of the areas, for instance, that's known for huckleberries. And huckleberries are definitely more like blueberries, but just an eensy bit darker kind of fruit, more on the purple end. I remember that was a big deal for my dad's family growing up. Huckleberry pie. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit more wild tasting, I suppose you could say. Not quite as pleasantly sweet as blackberry. And so, still good. When I was a little boy, I think I liked huckleberries more than blueberries, which are really kind of different. You know, I might go for another loop here. I'm not sure. Maybe. I don't know. So this need to exercise more, it's not just this subconscious side thing that's like, oh, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. No. Don't misunderstand me. It's not that. It's something that's actually a very physical thing right now. It's the leaner you get, the more your body's just like, oh, let's go out and do some stuff. Right? It wants to be active. Leanness and having less fat in your body just kind of begs the need to go exercise in some shape, way, shape, or form. That's how it always works. So I watched a Joe Rogan, more Joe Rogan in this case than Jocko Willink, who they both can be knuckleheads in a, more Joe Rogan. Willink is fine. But I suppose if being knucklehead and Perhaps not so much of a bad way, but Rogan was like, stop making excuses for yourself. Get out there and exercise. Well, what I want to add to that is this. I mean, the better in shape you get, the leaner you get, the more you don't have to force yourself out the door. The more you don't have to struggle with your body who doesn't want, the body would rather get chubbier. It's hard to explain, but it's like many things in life. I guess the more you do something, the more committed you are to something, the more that you'll take on those qualities of whatever it is you're trying to achieve. More or less. I mean, some things we'll all have a really hard time with. Really. But there will be, I mean, for every good thing we try to do in our lives, there's always some benefit. For instance, I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't drink coffee or tea. All those things have definitely paid off. Definitely paid off. Saves me money, for one. I'm not as moody as I otherwise would be. Two, with alcohol. And drugs are absolutely insanely terrible for you. Three, I'm able to keep it together upstairs. Four, I'm not addicted to that stuff. Five, body is cleaner. One of the other things I don't do is I'm not promiscuous sexually. So one of the reasons I haven't picked up AIDS. But that's a different subject which we won't get into right now, but it goes deeper, I suppose. But there's so many things in life that are like that. When I was in high school, I never had to work all that hard. I did. To get in really good shape, I had to work hard. You have to work harder at it in some respects after being in your teens or 20s. You have to exercise all the time. So that's why that stuff by Joe Rogan was so helpful. It can be once you get past the how can I put this, the side of it that's a little bit more callous. Just like, he's right. There honestly are days I don't want to exercise. And I can forgive myself. I can say no exercise if there truly isn't enough time. If you get busy enough, man. But that isn't right now. Right now, I definitely have enough time. But yeah, it's also kind of like, if you're tired, I think if I'm tired, even because hunger is something I'm on some level dealing with every day. If I'm trying to get cut, get leaner, you just have that hangry thing. It's just very, very faint. Just your body burning off stuff, getting leaner. But being tired, that's harder. So you really exerted yourself one day. So then you don't take it as hard the next day, but you still keep doing it. I also kind of like the freedom to kind of exercise and do what I want to do exercise-wise. So I'm trying to put more thought into that rather than food, which is helpful, but not always so helpful. Anyway, leave me thoughts and comments below. Catch you guys later. Take care. Bye.